So the question that I'm sometimes asked is why don't many or several brokers not accept US clients? Does that mean something shady is going on? For example, you've seen on this channel, I've shown you how to trade with like things like boom and crash, volatility 75, synthetic indices, and many US traders also want to get in on the action, but unfortunately, they cannot. And there are many brokers, good brokers, that US clients can might want to open accounts with, but they cannot. For example, if you are trading in the US, the law says the maximum leverage that you can get from a broker is 1:50. Whereas when you are with offshore brokers, sometimes it's even to up to 1:2000 in terms of leverage. So you understand why some US based traders would want to sign up with these offshore brokers. So we'll delve into that in this video. By the way, if you are new on this channel, please consider subscribing so that you do not miss future videos. Like this video, that's the only thing that you can do to keep me motivated to just sharing this knowledge with you for free. I do not ask for payment. Everything that I give out here for free. If you are looking to download stuff, forex robots, indicators, books, and systems, stuff like that, things to do with your trading, there are links in the description box below. You can visit those links and see if you cannot find what you are looking for. So let's get into this video. Let's answer the question why many brokers do not accept US based clients, customers, traders. And this is regardless of whether you are a US citizen or you are a US resident. The moment you are just like from the US, some brokers go to as far as monitoring IP addresses. So if you want to register with an IP address in the United States, they definitely decline your application. For verification, if you submit an address in the United States, they definitely decline your application. So what's the deal with this? A bit of a background. You remember that recent nasty financial crisis that happened, that started with the big banks in New York in the United States in 2008. You know, that crisis that ended up affecting the whole world. Uh, a result of that was that also the United States Congress decided to impose harsh restrictions on financial players to fill in loopholes that they deemed were existing in the financial sector, which is what caused the 2008 financial crisis. So they decided to impose strict regulations, which are now regulated by the National Futures Association (NFA) and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, also known as the CFTC. So it's not just the banks. They also impose these strict regulations on brokers, forex brokers, especially brokers that are wanting to operate in the United States or are based in the United States. Under these regulations, US brokers can only offer their clients a maximum of 1:50 leverage. I have already mentioned about that. And which means that as a US trader, whether a citizen or you're just a resident of the United States, you do not enjoy as much as an advantage when it comes to leverage when compared to the guys that are trading with offshore brokers, the rest of the world, where we get from 1:100, 1 is to 500, 1 is to 2,000. I've seen 1 is to 2,000 with some broker. US brokers also cannot allow things like hedging. You cannot hedge trades with US brokers. Instead, they implement what they call first in, first out mechanisms, which means that before you can open, if you open more than one position on a currency pair, you must first of all close the first position before closing the second one. If you open two positions on a currency pair, you are strictly in the US going to have to first close the first position that you opened before they allow you to close the second one. These are some of the results of these regulations. And these rules do not apply with offshore brokers. We know we can hedge, we can do all sorts of things that we want with offshore brokers. So there's kind of a lot of red tape and checklists that US traders and US brokers have to tick off and go through before they can actually start trading. So that's kind of the background to this. So you can understand why US-based traders would want to also trade with offshore brokers, but offshore brokers will not want to trade with US-based traders. So the reason why brokers do not accept US clients, one of the reasons, besides the tedious amount of work that goes into actually getting things sorted in the United States, again, this is meant to protect the US public from scammers and things like that, and also to ensure that those in the financial sector are playing by the rules. Unfortunately, it makes things harder. So one of the problems also, well, not a problem exactly, but one of the reasons also is the so-called Dodd-Frank Act. Now, this act requires forex brokers in the United that are going to accept US-based traders, citizens or residents, to actually be registered with both the CFTC and the NFA. Now, a broker needs to put up a lot of capital as security before they can actually be registered with the CFTC and the NFA. For example, just to get a license fee from the NFA and CFTC requires around $20 million. That's the licensing fee to be able to start operating in the United States. And many brokers, therefore, they just decide, no, it's just too much. It's just too tedious a process, and it's too expensive for them. So they would rather not accept US-based clients, US-based traders. So that's why you find many brokers, many offshore brokers, they do not deal with US-based traders. Not that they are entirely shady or they are scammers or stuff like that. The tendency would want to be that, I know, if you are not taking on US-based traders, then it means you are not good enough, you are a scammer or you are shady and stuff like that. It's not. The US market now has stricter regulations for those that are operating in the financial sector to be able to operate, which they will find is at least freer, if there is such a word. There is more freedom, kind of, when they are actually trading in other jurisdictions. So, does this mean that US traders can still not trade with offshore brokers? No. The good news is that you can still find some offshore brokers that still accept US clients. despite of the regulations and the acts and stuff like that. And also, the CFTC has also signed a memorandum of agreements with certain foreign governments where the governments in those foreign jurisdictions actually agree to monitor the brokers that are registered in their countries. And they sign this agreement with the CFTC just to make sure that there is proper regulation of brokers that are operating in their country, so US traders can actually trade with those brokers which are registered in those countries that have an agreement with the CFTC. And but still, you might find that there are still brokers out there who do not care about all of this. They still accept US based clients. So you just to about you going out there and doing your due diligence and making sure that you find what you are looking for. So I just wanted to explain why some brokers do not accept US clients. It's not always that they are shady, or if you are not allowed to trade in the US, then it automatically means you are shady, you are a scammer. No. Of course, there are scam brokers out there and stuff like that. But for the other good brokers, it's just the regulations in the United States. For them, it's not worth it. They'd rather operate in the rest of the world and not operate in the United States. That's it. So, if you have any questions concerning this or any other subjects, please leave your comments, your thoughts in the comment section below. Otherwise, subscribe, like this video. Until next time, bye.